Before I come to property and event binding and two-way data binding though, I want to have a closer look at string interpolation. Now in order to do this, I will get rid of all these components here and of that import, as well as the directives metadata here, and of the styles too, I don't need them. And I'll get rid of this other folder because I don't need those components anymore. Instead, I will create a new component, so G, white space or space and then C, a new component which I will call data binding. This file gets generated in this data binding folder. I'll get rid of this spec file of the testing file here, I don't need that. And the first thing I'll do here is, as you can see, it has a selector of FA data binding. I'll add the selector here in my template, FA data binding. As you're probably aware, I also need to add the import of my data binding component from data binding. And I can do this as I also have the index.ts file here. And then I add the directives metadata to set it up, data binding component. So I'll just save my application and you see data binding works. Great. So I'll also rename this to root component here. And now in the data binding component, I want to demonstrate data binding. So I'll get rid of that stuff here for now again. And next I will again add a property here. And I will name this String Interpolation. And this will be a string. This is String Interpolation. And I'll add another one called Number Interpolation. Let's see if that will work too. And now in the template in the HTML file, I'll output this. So I will replace data binding works with String Interpolation. And if I save this, you see that we see this is string interpolation. This is how I output it. That's really how simple this is. This expression between the curly braces resolves to a string, since, well, this property is a string, and then simply renders it once this component is loaded and rendered to the viewer, to the user. Now, how does this work if I use the number interpolation? Does this work? Because that is no string, right? Number interpolation, save this. Well, it still works as you can see, because a number can easily be cast to a string, and TypeScript or Angular 2 does that for us. So this will work too. Everything which is a string or can be cast to a string will work here. So this is how we can use string interpolation.